Hi, in today's video, I'll attempt to complete Plants vs Zombies 2 without changing my plants. Let's not waste any time, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and let's try to hit 1000 subscribers by the end of summer. We're almost there. Also, check out my Buy Me a Coffee page where you'll find tons of exclusive content and posts about upcoming videos. All the links are in the description, so let's get started. Now, let's go over the rules for this challenge. The first and main rule is that I'm not allowed to change my plants. This means that once I get the initial plants in the game, sunflower, pea shooter, walnut, potato mine, bloomerang, cabbage pult, and iceberg lettuce, I can't swap them out. And I have to complete the game using only these plants. The only exceptions are levels where I can't choose certain plants, levels where the game selects the plants for us, and conveyor belt levels. In these cases, I'm allowed to use other plants or those given by the game. I've also decided to allow myself to use buffs and upgrade plants. With that cleared up, let's begin. The tutorial area is perfect for this challenge since it gives us almost all the plants we'll use throughout the game. In ancient Egypt, we get all the plants that we'll be using, so I won't go into detail about how I completed these two worlds. Instead, let's jump straight to Pirate Seas. The first level is, of course, very easy. On the second level, a seagull zombie appeared, but it wasn't much of a problem. The third level introduced the pirate zombie, but our plants handled it without any issues. The fourth level was a bit more challenging, with the appearance of buckethead zombies, who even managed to breach my defenses, but luckily, PvZ has the wonderful feature of lawnmowers. The fifth level was exactly like the fourth. On the sixth level, we had a similar situation. The seventh level introduced the barrel zombie, but Bloomerang easily countered it. The eighth level was a conveyor belt level, and even with two gargantuars, it was very easy. The 10th level introduced the cannon with imps, but Bloomerang took care of it effortlessly. The 11th level was a copy of the 10th. The 12th level was a mini-game with the coconut cannon, and it was so simple that there's nothing much to say about it. The 13th level featured the pirate captain zombie and a goal to produce 2000 Sunday energy, which I managed to achieve just in time. On the 14th level, we were given 3000 suns, enough to plant 4 full rows of bloomerangs, and I completed the level in 40 seconds. The 15th level required me to prevent zombies from stepping on the flowers, but thankfully, they were far enough away, so it wasn't a problem. The 16th level tasked me with protecting the spring bean, but it was so powerful on this level that it eliminated zombies without any issues. The 17th level required me to kill 20 zombies in 30 seconds, which was so easy I barely noticed the challenge. The 18th level was just a standard, easy level. The 19th level required me to produce 1750 suns and protect the flowers, which was probably the hardest level on this map. I only managed to complete it on my second attempt. The 20th level required 1000 suns, and the game provided a coconut cannon, which I didn't use because I find it expensive and inefficient. The 21st level required me to produce 2500 suns and kill 5 zombies in 5 seconds within a single wave, but it was still easy. The 22nd level provided 3300 suns, so I used my old tactic of planting 4 rows of bloomerangs and a row of walnuts. This strategy was deadly on this map. The zombies couldn't last even a few seconds on the lawn. The 23rd level required me to kill 8 zombies in 10 seconds and protect the flowers. Overall, an easy level with nothing much to add. The 24th level again tasked me with protecting the spring bean, and despite it being close to where the zombies appeared, I had no trouble passing the level. Finally, the boss fight, it was easy, and I completed it on the first try. Moving on to the Wild West. The first level, as always, was easy. The second level was a bit harder, with the appearance of the prospector zombie, and I only had one plant that could counter it, the iceberg lettuce, but it was still pretty easy. The third level introduced the piano zombie, which was a bit tricky but not too challenging. The fourth level was unique, where plants were placed on minecarts in sequence. It wasn't hard, just unusual. The fifth level introduced the poncho zombie, one of the most dangerous zombies on this map. If you're lucky, there won't be a metal door under its poncho, but that rarely happens. Usually, it appears fully equipped, which, as you can imagine, isn't great. The 6th level gave us 2000 suns, enough for 2 rows of bloomerangs and 1 row of walnuts, which was sufficient for completing the level. The 7th level was also easy, despite the large number of poncho zombies. The 8th level was a conveyor belt level and quite difficult, and I even had to use a buff at the end. The 9th level had the game select plants for us, and despite the large number of zombies, it was still easy. The 10th level introduced the chicken wrangler zombie, which I feared the most because I had almost no plants to counter the chickens, and as you know, these guys can cause a lot of trouble. Bloomerang can counter them, but it struggles if there's only one. But having multiple bloomerangs managed to handle them. The 11th level only allowed me to spend 500 suns, which was enough for just 1 row of pea shooters. I decided not to use sunflowers and played with bloomerang only, and this tactic worked. The 12th level was similar to the 4th, but with different plants and more zombies. The 13th level introduced the bull zombie, another dangerous enemy, but I managed to clear the level without losing a single lawnmower. The 14th level was intense, and I had to use buffs because there were so many chickens. The 15th level required me to lose no more than 2 plants, but fortunately, the zombies weren't too tough, so I passed it on the first try. The 16th level required me to protect the walnut, and surprisingly, it was easy. The 17th level required me to prevent zombies from stepping on the flowers. And this one gave me some trouble because I didn't realize how to counter the bull zombie that charged in the middle of the level. Eventually, I figured out that placing an obstacle in front of it worked, and I completed the level. The 18th level gave us 1500 suns, which was enough for 2 rows of bloomerangs, and this tactic still worked. The 19th level required me to spend no more than 2000 suns and lose no more than 2 plants. The level was pretty easy, and I had no problems. The 20th level was a more challenging version of the 4th level, and due to my own mistake, I only passed it on the second try. The 21st level required me to spend no more than 1750 suns and prevent zombies from stepping on the flowers. It was a tough level, and I only completed it on my 3rd try. The 22nd level was a standard, medium difficulty level, which I passed without any issues. The 23rd level required me to prevent zombies from stepping on the flowers and lose no more than 2 plants, which was a really hard level. I passed it on my 2nd try, thanks to using multiple buffs throughout the level. The 24th level was also difficult, requiring me to protect the walnuts. I had to struggle a bit and use buffs a couple of times to get through it. The 25th level was the boss fight, and I only managed to pass it on my 3rd try. After going through this map, I was starting to get tired and just wanted to finish it, which made things worse. On to Frostbite Caves. The first level was, as always, easy and went by in a breeze. The second level introduced the hot potato, which is a very useful plant on this map, too bad we can't use it permanently. The third level was another conveyor belt level, and there's nothing much to say other than it was easy. The fourth level introduced the hunter zombie, who will cause me a lot of problems in the future, but for now, the level was still easy. The fifth level was another conveyor belt level, which was also easy. The sixth level had the game select 5 plants for us, but even so, I only passed the level on my second try. The 7th level introduced the imp, but the level was still very easy. The 8th level was another conveyor belt level, and it introduced the rock pelt zombie, who is actually quite dangerous, having more health than even the buckethead zombie. The 9th level introduced the dodo zombie, not the most dangerous, but in my situation, it could cause problems. The 10th level was yet another conveyor belt level. The 11th level had 5 plants selected by the game, but even with them, I only managed to pass the level on my second try. The 12th level gave us 1900 suns, enough for nearly 3 rows of bloomerangs, but this tactic didn't work since they were almost immediately frozen. So I decided to try something different. I didn't plant any plants at the start and just began the level, then gradually started planting, and this tactic since they were almost immediately frozen. I decided to do things differently. I didn't plant any plants and started the level right away, then gradually began planting, and this tactic worked. 13th level, where we need to prevent zombies from stepping on the flowers. There are 4 waves, and it's quite difficult, especially with Gargantuar appearing at the end, but I decided not to take risks and destroyed him using a buff. 14th level, where the game selects all the plants for us. It was pretty easy, and I had no problems. 15th level, where we need to protect the Persepulta from being eaten by zombies. I remember struggling with this level the first time I played the game, but thankfully, I passed it on my first try this time. 16th level, which is a conveyor, but despite that, it's quite tense because there are no lawn mowers and 3 gargantuars appear throughout the level, but the buffs manage it just fine. 17th level, where Troglobite appears, but Boomerang easily handles it. 18th level, another conveyor level. There seem to be a lot of conveyor levels in this location, almost every other level. 19th level, where the game chooses the first 4 plants for us. The level is pretty tough, but as always, the buffs come in handy. 20th level, another difficult level, but the buffs save the day here too. 21st level, and you won't believe it, another conveyor level. 22nd level, featuring the stockpiling possum, which is essentially the same as the chicken wrangler zombie and can create a lot of problems, but the level was still fairly easy. 23rd level, where we need to protect the mangold guard from being eaten by zombies, but to my surprise, it turned out to be quite easy. 24th level, where we need to generate 2,500 suns. I barely managed to pass this level. 25th level, and you won't believe it, another conveyor. 26th level, where the game gives us Rotobaga in our arsenal. Overall, the level is easy despite having 4 waves. 27th level, where we need to prevent zombies from eating the Rotobaga. The level is pretty easy, but the 2 gargantuars that appear at the end almost ruined everything, so I had to deal with them using a buff. 28th level, where we get 2,500 suns, and the strategy from level 12 worked here as well. 29th level, where the game chooses all the plants for us. It's a simple level, nothing more to add. 30th level, and it's a boss fight. I passed it on my first try, and in my opinion, it's even easier here than in the previous world. Lost City. The first level is, as always, easy. Second level, where the pilot zombie appears, but it didn't cause any problems, and I easily passed the level. Third level, and it's a conveyor. Fourth level, featuring the digger zombie, which is quite dangerous, but luckily, Boomerang handles it. Fifth level, and it's another conveyor. Sixth level, where we get a KEE in our arsenal, which is great for countering digger zombies and other zombies. It's a shame we can't use it regularly. Seventh level, featuring the umbrella zombie. If it comes along with the digger zombie, it can create some problems, but luckily, Boomerang counters them both. 8th level, where the game selects all the plants for us, and we need to prevent zombies from stepping on the flowers. This level was a bit of a struggle, but I eventually passed it. 9th level, and it's another conveyor. 10th level, where we get durian in our arsenal. It's a standard level, and there's nothing more to say. 11th level, featuring the bug zombie. It's a bit annoying, but it's still easy to counter. 12th level, where we need to generate 5,000 suns. Even with the numerous sun-producing tiles, I managed to do it only on the 4th try. 13th level, and it's another easy conveyor. 14th level, where the game selects all the plants for us. It's a very simple level, and I passed it in one go. 15th level, where we need to prevent zombies from eating a KEE. To my surprise, it was an easy level. 16th level, and you won't believe it, another conveyor, but this one is a bit tougher than the previous ones. I even had to use a buff at the end. 17th level, featuring the imp, but the level is still easy. 18th level, another conveyor. 19th level, where the game gives us the Stalia, but even with that, I completed the level losing all the lawn mowers. On the 20th level, the sun tiles create an interesting symbol that hints at the PvZ creators being elephants. 21st level, where the game selects all the plants for us. It's a very simple level with no challenges. 22nd level, where the game also selects all the plants for us. This level features an interesting trap tile mechanic, which helped me pass the level. 23rd level, where a new variant of the headbanger zombie appears. This version of the zombie is wild. It flies across almost the entire lawn and has a lot of health. It took me 2 tries to pass the level because of it. 24th level, where we need to prevent zombies from stepping on the flowers. Even though they are far from the zombies' spawn points, it was tense, but I managed. 25th level, where the game selects the first 5 plants for us. It's an easy level, and there's nothing more to say about it. 26th level, where the game gives us the gold leaf in our arsenal, but I didn't need it. 27th level, featuring the birchhead zombie, but the level is still fairly easy. 28th level, a standard medium difficulty level, nothing more to add. 30th level, where we need to pass the level without 3 rows. It's actually harder than it sounds, and I wouldn't have managed without a buff. 31st level, where the game selects all the plants for us. The plants are pretty overpowered, so it's easy to pass the level. 32nd level, and it's a boss fight. The boss in this world is fairly easy, and I passed it on the first try. Overall, this world turned out to be easier than the previous 2. Far future. The first level is as easy as it gets. On the second level, the shield zombie appears, but the mine easily counters it. On the third level, the imp and jetpack zombie appear, but the level is still very easy. 4th level, where we need to survive the sun bombs. In my opinion, this is even easier than regular levels. 5th level, where the robo-cone zombie appears, and it's a really dangerous zombie. My plants can only counter it with a mine. 6th level, where the game selects all the plants for us. It's an easy level, nothing more to add. 7th level, which is a bit tougher than the previous ones, but still fairly easy. 8th level, and it's a conveyor, but despite that, it's a tough level, as I passed it only on the 3rd try. 9th level, where you can't plant more than 15 plants. Despite this limitation, it's still an easy level. 10th level, featuring the Discotron zombie. I was actually a bit worried about encountering this zombie because I wasn't sure I could counter it effectively, but to my surprise, Boomerang handles it well. 11th level, where we get 2,750 suns, which is enough for 4 incomplete rows of boomerangs, and this tactic still works well. 12th level, where Gargantuar joins all the other zombies, but the lawnmower can handle it. On the 13th level, the mecha football zombie appears, which is a really dangerous zombie, but a mine is a mine. 14th level, where we can't spend more than 1,500 suns. I even exceeded the goal and didn't spend even 1,000 suns. 15th level, where we need to prevent zombies from eating the citron. This turned out to be easier than I thought. 16th level, and it's a fairly easy conveyor. 17th level, where the game selects all the plants for us. It's a very simple level and passes quickly. 18th level, where we need to generate 6,000 suns. That's quite a lot, even for 2 waves, but using the tactic of leaving 1 zombie on the lawn and collecting suns makes this level easy. 19th level, and again, we need to survive the sun bombs. As I've mentioned, these levels are even easier than regular ones. 20th level, where we need to prevent zombies from eating the starfruit, and this is quite a tough level. I only managed to pass it on the 3rd try. 21st level, where we need to generate 5,000 suns and not plant more than 16 plants. 2 rows of sunflowers and 1 row of boomerangs handle this task. 22nd level, where we get 2,250 suns, which is enough for my favorite tactic. 23rd level, where we can't plant more than 15 plants and can't spend more than 2,250 suns. If you don't plant sunflowers, that's more than enough. 24th level, and again, we need to survive the sun bombs. Finally, the boss fight. The boss here is tougher than in the previous world. At the end, I almost lost, but thank God, I managed to use plant food in time. Dark Ages, this world can already cause some serious problems. Not only do no sun drops fall from the sky, but the world itself is quite challenging. The first level, I somehow managed to lose 2 lawnmowers on it. The second level, I completed it too, but lost all the lawnmowers. The third level, surprisingly, it turned out to be easier than the second. The 4th level is a conveyor one, and in this world, I really enjoy such levels, as playing with the plants I have isn't exactly the most fun experience. The 5th level introduces my biggest fear, the Jester Zombie. I don't have any plants that can counter him, except for the iceberg lettuce and the mine, but those are only enough for the early stages. When there are a lot of them, only a miracle can save me. The 6th level, I managed to pass it with great difficulty, but I had to lose all the lawnmowers and use buffs. The 7th level, this is where the helmet zombie appears. Honestly, it's the last thing I needed here, but for now, it's still bearable. The 8th level, the game picks all the plants for us, and I'm incredibly happy about it. But even with these plants, I lost 2 lawnmowers. The 9th level, just to complete the picture, they added Devil's Potions, which I'm also thrilled about. The 10th level is another long-awaited conveyor level. I thought I could finally relax a little, but it's not that simple. The conveyor is quite challenging because there are no lawnmowers, but fortunately, I managed to pass this level on the first try. The 11th level introduces the wizard zombie, as if this world wasn't difficult enough already. This zombie turns my plants into sheep, and honestly, it really annoys me. The 12th level, you have to prevent the zombies from eating the puff shroom, but here's the catch, they disappear after a while if you don't use plant food. And that still counts as the zombies eating them. The paradox is that they don't manage to destroy the tombstone with the plant food before disappearing. At first, I tried to pass the level the usual way, but it didn't work. Then I bought plant food, and only then did I manage to pass the level. The 13th level is a long-awaited easy conveyor level. The 14th level, you need to produce 5,000 suns, but you can't use the sunflower, only the sunbean and sun graves, and surprisingly, it's even easier than with sunflowers. The 15th level gives us 2,200 suns, but the boomerang strategy is no longer effective here. Fortunately, I can take bok choy into my arsenal, which counters the jester zombie, and with gritted teeth, I managed to pass this level using that strategy. The 16th level introduces the zombie king, but luckily, the game gave us a magnet, so he wasn't much of a problem. The 17th level brings back Devil's Potions. I passed it on the second try, thanks to a buff. The 18th level, again, the game picks all the plants for us, but this doesn't make it any easier. I only managed to pass it on the 5th try, and not without the help of a buff. The 20th level is the boss fight. Honestly, I think this is the easiest level in this world, only the first 3 levels are easier. I defeated the boss on the first try and finally finished this world. Neon Mixtape Tour, the first level is easy, unlike the previous world. The second level introduces beetroot to our arsenal, and the punk zombie appears. The third level is a conveyor. The fourth level, the game picks the first 3 plants for us. The level is easy, but I still managed to lose almost all the lawnmowers. The fifth level, you need to prevent the zombies from eating the beetroot and walnut, and this is the first truly difficult level in this world. I only managed to pass it on the 7th try. The 6th level is another conveyor. The 7th level introduces the glitter zombie. It's also not an easy level, with way too many zombies. I managed to pass it on the 3rd try. The 9th level, you need to produce 2,000 suns and pass the level with the chosen plants, but the catch is that we don't have any sun-producing plants in the arsenal. Only 2 rows of sunflowers at the very front of the lawn. At first, I didn't understand how to pass this level, but then I saw that punk zombies appear first, knocking the sunflowers back. I made a mistake by starting to kill them, and because of that, I didn't pass the level on the 1st try. But I realized my mistakes and passed it on the 2nd try. The 10th level is a fairly easy conveyor. The 11th level introduces MC Zombie, but the level is still fairly easy. The 12th level, despite the appearance of a gargantuar, is still very easy. The 13th level gives us 2,000 suns, and we need to set up some defense with them. The boomerang strategy doesn't work here anymore. I tried using pea shooters, it was better, but still not enough. I tried using the strategy from the Frostbite Caves, but that didn't work either. So I decided to watch some ads to earn coins and pass the level with my favorite buffs, and only that strategy worked. The 14th level, we need to survive using the given plants. The level is easy, and there's not much else to say about it. The 15th level, you need to prevent the zombies from eating the beetroot. It took me 6 attempts and almost all my coins for buffs to finally pass it. The 16th level is a conveyor, but unfortunately, it's not an easy one. So far, this is the hardest level in the entire playthrough. I don't know how many attempts it took me to pass this level. I've already lost count, but I'll say this, it's no less than 20. I don't know who came up with this level because it's just impossible. I only managed to pass it because I memorized all the timings and knew where each zombie would come from. Plus, there are no lawnmowers here, so the strategy of holding on until the final wave and then relaxing won't work. The conveyor might not give you the plants you need, making the level extremely difficult. I passed it only with divine help. The 17th level introduced the breakdancer zombie, who is certainly annoying but hasn't caused too much trouble yet. 19th level, and it's a long-awaited easy conveyor. 20th level, a bit tense, but I managed. The 21st level required preventing zombies from stepping on the flowers, which was somewhat problematic, but with some effort, I got through it. The 22nd level was a conveyor, where the arcade zombie appeared. The 23rd level introduced the spore shroom to our arsenal, a fairly easy level, but due to my own mistake, I managed to lose, though I passed it without issues on the second attempt. The 24th level gave us 2000 suns, and this time the strategy with boomerangs worked. The 26th level required protecting the spore shroom from being eaten by zombies. I thought it would be another challenging level, but surprisingly, I passed it quickly. The 27th level was an easy conveyor, with a boombox zombie making an appearance. The 30th level limited us to planting no more than 15 plants, but even with that restriction, it was a very easy level. The 31st level required surviving with the given plants, but since the plants were quite powerful, passing the level was no problem. The 22nd level was a boss fight, and the boss was fairly easy, though I almost lost at the end. Jurassic Marsh. The first level, as usual, was easy. The second level introduced the Velociraptor. The third level was a conveyor. The fourth level introduced the zombie with a skull, who is certainly dangerous but hasn't caused major issues yet. The sixth level brought in the Stegosaurus, and this guy is a bit of a nuisance because at any moment, he can throw a zombie onto the most unprotected lane, which he often does. The seventh level was a conveyor where we had to prevent zombies from stepping on flowers. To my surprise, this level was easier than I expected. The ninth level required surviving with the given plants, and it also introduced the pterodactyl. The 10th level was already tense. I lost all the lawnmowers and spent all the coins on buffs, but I passed the level on the first try. The 12th level didn't allow us to lose more than 6 plants, which turned out to be quite difficult. A few gargantuars appear throughout the level, alongside many zombies, and it took me about 7 attempts to pass this level. The 15th level required us to prevent zombies from eating the primal walnut, which, surprisingly, was fairly easy. The 16th level was a somewhat tense conveyor. The 18th level introduced the Tyrannosaurus, who kept ruining my runs. Because of him, I only managed to pass the level on my 5th attempt. The 19th level was a conveyor where we had to prevent zombies from stepping on flowers again, but thanks to the ice dragon, it was quite easy to do so. The 20th level required generating 2000 suns, using the strategy of leaving the last zombie alive and collecting sun. The 21st level introduced the Jurassic Gargantuar, who was certainly a challenge, but I managed to pass the level, though not without difficulty. The 22nd level gave us 3000 suns, which I used to plant 3 rows of boomerangs, a row of pea shooters, and a row of walnuts. Surprisingly, this worked, although the walnuts turned out to be useless. The 24th level was hardcore again. I only managed to pass it with divine help. The 25th level introduced the Ankylosaurus, and although having several of them standing there until nearly the end of the level wasn't exactly encouraging, I managed. The 26th level required surviving without 2 rows, which was much harder than it seems. By the end, I was left with just 1 lawnmower and 2 boomerangs, but buffs saved me. The 29th level required surviving with the given plants. It wasn't the hardest level, but I only passed it on the 3rd try. The 30th level was quite tough. Gargantuars, dinosaurs, and a lot of strong zombies definitely made their presence felt. Gritting my teeth and without using buffs, I passed it on the 3rd try. The 31st level required surviving with the given plants. Honestly, no matter what anyone says, the ice dragon is overpowered. Finally, the boss fight. The boss was very easy, and I dealt with him in a couple of minutes. Big Wave Beach. Honestly, this world scared me the most, not because it was difficult, but because we might need the lily pad to complete it, and according to the challenge rules, I can't include it in my arsenal. The first level gave us the lily pad in our arsenal, but it would have been better if it was given on more difficult levels. The second level was very simple, and I managed without the lily pad. The third level was a light conveyor. The fourth level was still very easy. The fifth level was another conveyor. The sixth level had almost all the plants chosen by the game, and it was simple, nothing to add. The seventh level could have been problematic because the water could flood the entire lawn. But thank goodness the lily pad has a mechanic where feeding the plant standing on it also feeds the pad itself, which allowed me to pass the level. The 8th level was an interesting mini-game, bowling, similar to the one in the first PvZ, but instead of walnuts, we're bowling with bulbs here. The 9th level introduced the snorkel zombie, and it was a level where we had to pass without certain tiles. I'll say this, it was quite difficult without lily pads, and it took several tries to pass. The 10th level was a conveyor. The 11th level introduced the surfer zombie, but he hasn't caused any major problems yet. The 12th level gave us 1750 suns, and surprisingly, the boomerang strategy still works. The 13th level required not planting more than 35 plants, and considering I'm not using lily pads, that's more than enough. The 14th level required surviving with the given plants, and by the way, in PvZ2, the chomper is really overpowered. The 15th level required preventing zombies from eating the mine, and as you understand, if a zombie steps on it, it counts as eating it. So, I had to struggle a bit with this level. The 16th level was a fairly easy conveyor, but even here, I managed to lose because I didn't notice there were no lawnmowers. However, I passed it on the second try without any issues. The 17th level introduced the octo zombie, who hasn't caused any problems yet, but that's just for now. The 18th level was another conveyor. The 20th level had water potentially flooding the entire lawn again. I passed the level with difficulty, but towards the end, a gargantuar appeared in a very unfortunate position, right on the lane without a lawnmower, so I had to use a buff. The 22nd level introduced the fisherman zombie, who I absolutely hate. He caused me so much trouble when I first played the game and in subsequent playthroughs as well. The 23rd level required preventing zombies from eating the banana launcher. I remember when I first played the game, I struggled a lot with this level, but this time, even with limited options, I passed it in just a couple of tries. The 24th level was another bowling mini-game, but this one was a bit tougher, I couldn't pass it on the first try. The 25th level restricted us to spending no more than 3000 suns and required killing 10 zombies within 5 seconds. This was a very tough level, and it took me 5 attempts to pass. The 27th level had most of the plants chosen by the game, but despite that, the level was still quite challenging. I kept losing at the same spot, but after slightly changing my strategy, I managed to pass it. The 28th level required us not to lose more than 5 plants, and surprisingly, this level was easier than I expected. The 29th level gave us 2500 suns, but because water could flood the entire lawn, this level wasn't so simple. Since I couldn't include lily pads in my arsenal, I had to use all the plant food almost immediately, so buffs came to my rescue. The 30th level required preventing zombies from eating the guacodiles. I remember struggling with this level when I first played the game, and unfortunately, I faced the same situation this time. I tried different strategies, didn't use sunflowers, used them, replaced the pea shooter with the boomerang, the result was the same. I realized I wouldn't pass the level on my own, so I saved up some coins and used buffs. The 31st level required surviving with the given plants. It was a bit tense, but compared to the previous level, it was the easiest level in the game. Finally, the boss fight. This boss was definitely harder than the previous ones, and there was a pretty tense moment towards the end, but thank goodness I managed to finish him off in time. Modern day. The first level, and it's already quite challenging. Towards the end, there was a really tense moment, but I managed to get through it. The second level, and it's not easy either, there are a lot of annoying zombies and a gargantuar, and let me remind you, this is just the second level. The third level is a conveyor belt. The fourth level, and to my surprise, it turned out to be easier than the previous ones, I didn't even lose a single lawnmower. The fifth level is already difficult, I even had to use a buff. The sixth level requires us to generate 4000 suns, but by the end of the level, I hadn't even collected half the required amount. There were more than enough problems on this level, so I had to leave the last zombie alive and gather suns. The seventh level is again difficult. I think the newspaper zombie needs to be nerfed a bit because if you don't use support plants, it's really hard to kill. Not only does it move at lightning speed, but it also has a lot of health. Because of this zombie and another one, I struggled with this level for a long time. The 8th level is the Vasebreaker, mini game, and I must say, it's much harder to beat on an emulator because it's not as convenient. I couldn't even pass it on the first try. The 9th level requires us to survive using the given plants. It's a bit tough, but after a few attempts, I managed to beat it without losing a single lawnmower. The 10th level is also quite challenging, but that's the default for this world. I passed it on my second try. The 12th level is already tough. We must not lose more than 10 plants, which is somewhat problematic with these kinds of zombies. However, after a few tries and with the help of a buff, I managed to pass it. The 13th level is another vasebreaker mini game, and passing it on an emulator was impossible. I tried about 15 times, all to no avail. I eventually got frustrated and completed the level on my phone. Honestly, I never thought I would have trouble with this level. The 14th level requires us to survive using the given plants. Despite the dangerous zombies, the level is still easy. The 15th level requires us to protect the primal walnut from being eaten by zombies. To my surprise, the level was simple. The 16th level is a conveyor belt with only gargantuars. It was a bit tense, but still fairly easy. The 17th level introduces the balloon zombie, and in PvZ 2, it's just too wild. It's hard to kill even with 2 level 3 boomerangs. The 18th level is a bit harder than the previous one, but still quite easy. The 19th level is another conveyor belt. The 20th level is already a bit tricky. I passed it on my second try. The 21st level introduces the football zombie, and this guy really stresses me out. Not only is he very fast, but he also has a lot of health. Because of him, I struggled with this level for a bit. The 22nd level is another vasebreaker mini game, but this time it was really simple. I didn't even have to play it on my phone. The 23rd level is quite challenging. I only managed to pass it on my 4th try. The 24th level seems to feature all the most dangerous zombies in the game, but to my surprise, the level turned out to be fairly easy. The 25th level is a rather unusual conveyor belt. I wouldn't say it's hard, but it did get a bit tense towards the end. The 26th level is tough. Not only are the zombies quite dangerous, but the dinosaurs add fuel to the fire. I couldn't pass this level on my own, so I resorted to using buffs like in the old days. The 27th level is another vasebreaker mini game, and again, it's very easy. I didn't lose a single plant. The 28th level requires us to generate 3,000 suns. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to do this by the end of the level, so I lost. However, then I planted 2 rows of sunflowers and easily completed the task. The 29th level is tough. I spent 8 attempts trying to beat this level, and of course, I couldn't do it without buffs. The 30th level, if I said the previous level was hard, I was wrong. This is a truly difficult level. We have to prevent the zombies from stepping on the flowers, and considering the zombies that appear on this level, in my case, it's almost impossible. So, I played other modes for a bit, saved up some coins, and passed most of the level with the help of buffs. The 31st level, compared to the previous one, is the easiest level in the game. However, even here, I managed to lose due to my own foolishness. But on the second try, I passed it without any problems. Now, there are 4 boss fights left. The first one is the Wild West boss, and it's truly a difficult boss. It spawns a lot of dangerous zombies. I managed to pass it only on my 3rd try. The second boss is the Pirate Seas boss. I wouldn't say it's easy, but I managed to pass it on the 1st try. After all, the winter melon is overpowered. The 3rd boss is the Big Wave Beach boss, which is also quite tough, but I managed to pass it on my 1st try without losing a single lawnmower. Finally, the last boss fight is the Frostbite Caves boss. It was also challenging, but I managed to pass it on my 1st try, losing only 1 lawnmower. So, is it possible to beat PvZ 2 without changing plants? The answer is yes, it's possible and not that hard. It was quite an interesting gaming experience for me. Well, friends, that's the challenge I completed. If you liked it, feel free to check out my other videos. And with that, I'm signing off. Thank you all for watching, good luck, and goodbye.